love never takes such a part in our life. Now the time has come to choose whether I live or die.
What's going on, everybody? It's K Asante, as you know, hanging out on a nice Sunday. And as you guys know, I tend to do weekend projects. This has been my latest weekend project. What you're looking at right here is my 1X Player Mini. Just a Windows handheld, right? It's not even the start of the show here. It's just a generic Windows handheld. I like my favorite Windows handheld, sure. But the star of the show here is Baidoo running on the Windows handheld. But it's not just running on the Windows handheld, it's how it's running on the Windows handheld. It's pretty interesting. I like Windows running on this thing. I think Windows is sometimes a necessary evil, as we sometimes like to call it. But it's necessary, right? Because you like to run some of the games that run best on Windows. You know, games that have anti-cheat components and the like, among other games. So I do like Windows, but every once in a while I like also having that Steam experience. And Baidoo, as you're looking at right now, affords us that opportunity. So just decided to install that on here. But the reason why I think this is interesting is that I did it in a way where I don't get to lose on my Windows install. I still have the Windows install configured, ready to go, and anytime I need it, I can call it up. Or I can be in Baidoo, which is basically SteamOS. So let's do a quick run, and let me see if I can play one of my new favorite games, which is Tokyo Extreme Racer. So basically, in this environment, it is Baidoo. Baidoo has different flavors of itself, which is a version of Fedora Linux, which is a variant, a distro, I should call it, of Fedora Linux. And basically, with this variant, depending on which version you install, if your hardware can support it, or if they support your hardware rather, then you can have some really interesting things, right? You can, customize it, make it look like the way you think it should look, right? So it is Steam, but it's configured to look like Baidoo, like my device, right? As you can see, here's the thing, and every single one of these Windows handhelds, as you guys probably know, has different configurations and different buttons and things like that. So depending on the version of Baidoo you install, let me turn this down. Depending on which version of Baidoo you install, you can actually have it give you the config you want, that like the righteous config, with all of your buttons and everything adhered to. So that's basically what I have here. So if you look, I have two custom buttons here, and Baidoo came out of the box already pre-configured with that in Steam, right? But not only is it done that way, it also configures the TDP configurations and stuff too. So it looks great there, as you can see, right? And not only is that even a factor in the equation, but since this is Baidoo and not SteamOS itself, they actually afford you a better configuration system even than what Steam is offering. And they do that in their own menu, and that's a hidden button behind the controller that you can use to pop up. And as you can see, I can control TDP. Unlike Steam Deck, I can go all the way to 30 on this one because this thing affords me the ability to go to 30. You can configure control settings. You can even mess with the RGB settings, right? Check it out. You can go through the full aspects of it: updates, reboot, shortcuts. A lot of very interesting detailed settings available here, and it's all within the Baidoo config. And when you're done, it pops away, and you're still in your game. You're done with your game. You click the menu button, exit, and you're back in a normal world, regular console. Right? As you can see, it's configured a little different. The main screen is a little bit bigger than all the others. Why is that? Because I actually configured the main screen a little differently. I installed Decky Loader. We can get into that a little later. Installed Decky Loader on this thing, so now I have a bit of a customized UI, right? Let's see real quick. If I want to go to the desktop, easily switch to the desktop this way. Pops right into desktop mode, just like you would think, right? Just like SteamOS, right? Just like that. And of course, since this thing does do a hardware emulation of mouse, you can now emulate your mouse, pop it in there, all your standard settings and everything else, right? All your standard configurations that you would expect from SteamOS. And then when you want to go back to your UI, your console UI, your CEG UI, shout out to my man Mr. Everborn Saga. What do? You just you go back into single user mode, and you're back in there, right? Let's say I want to shut it down. I am busy. It's gone. Shut it down, right? And the thing that really sucks about Windows most of the time is it's very difficult to restart or to go back from sleep. This being what it is, it goes back from sleep rather quickly. The controller takes just a minute to remember that it's on again, and then it's right back in, right? Now, this is called the Genki Safe Point. Basically an external enclosure with M.2 2230s. This one has a 2 terabyte M.2 in it, and that's basically how I'm doing all this. It's literally built for handheld devices. All you do is it's got a ring you install at the back, and you can just attach it and it stays. Connect it to any device, whether it be this device or Steam Deck or ROG Ally or the like, right? And why I say this was built for this handheld device is because it does 100 watt power delivery. So while this thing is running, you still have another connection right here. You can actually connect to it and it'll deliver 100 watts to whichever device it's connected to. But there you go. So that's where my Baizite is installed. But let's say I don't want to run Baizite and I just want to run Windows. I have it configured to basically first go and search for the USB drives. So if the USB drive is available, it will use the USB drive. If the USB drive is not available, it then of course defaults to the hard drive that's built in. And well, of course, boom, Windows is back, and Windows hello, and I'm back on my desktop, right? Next time I want to run Baizite, I plug the thing back in, I reboot, and bam, I'm back in Baizite. Or if I don't even want to do that, I have multiple versions of these things. So the next one I can just plug in and I can just use it as extra storage from my Windows side. But yeah, it's a pretty cool device. I like it. I think it makes using these handhelds far more user-friendly and far more interesting. So I thought I'd share it with you guys, show you guys how I am running my stuff these days. So, happy gaming. Hope all is well. And catch you on GCP next week. Peace.